Yeah. So I'm really happy that you joined me today, Sasa. And I'm looking forward to this new setup here and having it basically in my room. You see the mic just in between. And so we'll see how this different setup goes and how deep I can go with you in the conversation and what we will talk about. I'm actually super curious because the last time we met was on, I think, last Sunday.
Yeah,
and we already talked for like 7 hours non-stop. Yeah. So I don't know how long this podcast is gonna be, but
we will see, right?
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to this conversation as well. So to start off, for like everybody who, obviously most of who are listening to this have never seen, heard anything from you. So if just imagine if my grandma would come into this room right now and doesn't have a clue about anything like social media, new technologies, or what people in our age do nowadays. How would you describe it in super simple words to her? What you do at the moment?
That's a good question. To start, thank you for having me. It's an honor for being here. I'm glad we met each other and that we're doing this podcast right now.
Oh yeah.
What would I describe and what would I tell about what I'm doing right now?
Yeah.
I could say that what I'm trying to do right now, what I'm working on, is to try to build, I wouldn't say an empire, but I'm trying to build something stable that my family can have that as a reward later on. And it has to do with money, because it's a fact. A lot of people have issue with money, and growing up, there was an issue for me. So I knew that I don't want that same experience for my family. Like, I don't have a girlfriend or anything right now. I don't have any kids. So that even gives me the possibility, the freedom to do things and do it faster, because I'm just me. So I don't have to consider anybody else or none of that. So I will say, I'm just trying to build an empire so I can provide for my family later on. Yeah.
That is just a super rough explanation of what it's like. Can you give a bit more detail on how to do this?
Yeah. Okay. Then I should go like 2 years ago, how it all started. So 2 years ago, let me go a little bit further. I came here in the Netherlands in 2013. Decided to come here to live because I saw opportunities here. I come from a small island, and opportunities there are pretty scarce, Your options are limited. Like you have university there, but you cannot study everything.
Mm-hmm.
So for most things, you have to go abroad to do that. And when I came here in 2013 on vacation and I saw Europe, I was like, what? This is Europe? And I saw other people that were living here for years, and they didn't make nothing out of the opportunities that this place has to offer, And I was like, okay, I gotta take this leap. So I was here in, I guess, until the end of August, I guess. So I went back to Curacao, stayed there for a month, then came back here to live. That's how fast it was. And I came here, and fast forward to 2 years ago, and I was just living like day by day.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had a plan, but I wasn't sure how to do it, because, like I said, I come from a place that everything it's small. So to have so many opportunities on the table, what should I choose now? So that was a little bit overwhelming. And 2 years ago, I was sitting at home. I used to smoke weed back then as well. So all the weed smokers, just kidding. But, so I used to smoke, and I was sitting at home, and out of nowhere, my heart started beating really fast. My head was going all over the place. I thought I was going to die, literally. What I didn't know at that time is that what I was experiencing is anxiety, is a panic attack. And I never had a panic attack before. Never experienced something like that. I just don't know anything. I knew people that had anxieties and panic attack, but myself, I never experienced it. So Eventually I called like 911, like 112 here, and yeah, they came and it was like, no, everything is good. You just, just having a panic attack, blah, blah, blah. But, I remember the next day, and that happened on the 23rd of March, 2017. Yeah, I remember.
That precise,
yeah, that precisely. I remember it. This is the day that I always remember. I guess I even have it in my calendar on the phone too. Like, this is the day you had the panic attack. So
Okay.
it's pretty funny. But it's a reminder to me that, hey, it didn't happen just out of nowhere. And that weekend I had to go to my mentors. And when I went there and I told him what happened, it's like, whoa, like that's a warning. That's your wake up call. It's like, yeah, wake up call, but then for what? And I was really pissed. I was really pissed at myself because I thought my body failed me. I thought God failed me. I thought like, this is not worth it. And I was really pissed. I was angry at myself.
Okay.
Which I should have been angry at myself actually, because I put myself in that situation. But, when he told me that it was a wake up call to me, it was like, okay, wake up call. Then things have to change, So after a month or two, I wasn't really focusing on it, but I was still really angry the first 2 months. I was really angry at myself. I was disappointed. I was like, how can my body feel me like this? I never had this experience before. So why did it happen? So I was still like fighting it instead of accepting that it happened and realizing the reason it happened, And then I'd sit down and I was like, okay, so let me go back to that day. So I went back and I was like, what were the things that I was focusing at that moment? So I was focusing on my goals, where I wanted to go. I wanted to be able to inspire other people to live a better life. I wanted to create more wealth for me and my family. I wanted to start my own business, and a lot of other small things. At that point as well, I was having family issues as well in that same period. So all of these things keep stacking up, and I wasn't really dealing with it. I was just like holding it back and holding it back and holding it back, and yeah. After I realized that I made a list, I wrote all of this on the paper and was like, okay, this is my problem. This is the issues I have. But now how can I deal with them? And that is when it all started changing, because then I started taking actions and things just changed really fast. And otherwise, if I didn't take those steps, I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. So yeah, it's just amazing.
And where did this previous thought already come from? I want to like create something big. I want to do this empire or create the wealth for my family. Where did this even come from?
That's a good question. Then we have to go way back.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Then when I was born. So like I said, I come from a small island. It's called Curacao. If you've never heard of it, you can Google it. It's a really small island. I guess it's 444 square kilometers. And we have like 160,000 people living there. So that's really small. Compared to a place like Europe or even the United States, it's just like, it's nothing. It's basically like an ant compared to an elephant, So, but yeah, so living there is different. There are laws, but there are no laws in the way that you can do things different. You don't have like the tax invasions that are always on you, like, hey, you got to pay your taxes, unless you have a contract of work and things like that, then you pay your taxes straight away. But you can just do anything on your own to survive. And that's where I want to get to, because a lot of people that live there, we are trying to surviving, and coming here, I still have that mentality. But so I grew up in a home along with my mom and my dad, along with 3 other siblings. I'm the youngest of 4. I have my older brother, then I have my twin sisters, and then I have me. So I came 8 years after my sisters.
Okay.
So
way younger.
Yeah, way young. I wasn't planned, I guess, I wasn't supposed to come, but okay. I came.
You got the gift, yeah.
Yeah, So growing up, my mom didn't really have a job, but I saw my mom working a lot of different type of jobs, cooking for other people or babysitting, making sweets, sell them, and earn money and save money. That's what I saw year in, year out for my mom. And every year from the age that was like really when I was born till the age of around 11, 13 years old, every year on summer vacation, my mom took us on a vacation. And my dad really didn't put money into it, but my dad was the one having a job, a well-paid job, So I wouldn't say I was born poor, but it will be middle class, but there was money issues there because my dad, there's a saying we have in Papiamento, which is the native language of Curacao. And it's literally says like, my dad is the type of person that turned the lights on the street, but left his home dark.
Oh, okay.
So that bring a lot of issues with it. And I have to mention as well, like my mom is a Christian. My mom is really religious person. And my dad, if you ask him, he will say he's Catholic, but ask him how many times he goes to church. Like never, So that already brings conflict with it because my mom way of thinking, way of doing things is totally different than my dad.
Yeah.
And that already brought like, divide the family, you can say. That's how I see it, at least.
Okay.
And like my mom worked years in, years out just to take us on vacation. I saw like really late nights, as I grew older, I helped us as well to make sure everything was finished, because if those things weren't finished, there were no money coming in, and my dad not really supporting the family, it's a problem, because then how are you going to put food on the table and things like that?
Sure.
So seeing that growing up, it was like, oh, no, I don't want this for my kids. That's the one thing I focus on a lot. Is like, I don't want what I experienced. I don't want that for my kids, because I know how it feels. I know how fucked up it can be, and, I don't want that for my kids, because if I see my struggles that I have right now, I want to be able to make that easier for my kids. So
basically, out of the seeing how bad it can be, you developed, okay, I don't want to have this ever again.
Yeah.
And don't want to have this for my loved ones as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so that's why you really started now to go deep into like, okay, how can I make this happen to build my own stuff and not get back into this?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think if to me, it's funny that some people experience similar things that I have experienced, or even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to judge anyone, but if you experience things like that and you're trying to make it better for your family and your kids, then to me that, like, what are you actually doing? Because you know how it is, you know how it feels, you know the struggles, you know the late nights that you cry your eyes out, and the days that you didn't want to live anymore or something like that, and you wouldn't want that for another human being. And that's how I see it. And it took me a long time, because coming here, it was like, okay, I can do this. I knew I could do this, but I wasn't sure how, or none of that,
I mean, coming to the complete new continent, and then okay, now I'm going to do this, but how and what?
Exactly.
Like, it must be super. You need to wrap your head around, like, how can I start doing things and what? And okay,
it's simple. It's simple. A simple explanation. For example, you have to fix this microphone. In Curacao, I will be like, I will ask, for example, my mom, hey, I need to fix the microphone. Who do you know, like, can fix this microphone? Oh, I know this person. You do the calls and eventually get somebody who can do this. And they don't exactly may have a business that fixes microphone, but they can do it. So you pay them a little bit amount of money. They're happy with that. You're happy with a fixed microphone, and you keep living. But here in the Netherlands, it's more like, oh yeah, just take it to the store. You just Google it, and oh yeah, there's a store like 500 meters away.
Yeah.
So it's a different lifestyle there.
Completely different approach on how to do things.
Yeah, it's a completely different approach how to do things. Yeah. Yeah. So it's, it's different there. you don't know how it is until you like really experience it.
I can imagine. Barely.
We should go once.
Yeah.
We should go once.
Well, I've only been to, well, not only, but I've been to Nepal, for example. And they do not have any, well, at least in Kathmandu, in the capital city, they do not have any house numbers or street names.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you want to go somewhere, you ask people somewhere on the street, like, can you tell me where this person is living?
Yeah.
And that was, once we went there, like, how can this ever work? And completely different mentality to, for example, Germany, where everything has to be like a street name and number. Otherwise you cannot get any post or whatsoever.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because in Curacao it's kind of the same. You have to imagine your parents have their house built, and they have the garden, and there's space back or the side, doesn't matter where, somewhere they have in the garden, they have there's space. You can just like, hey, can I build a house back there? Like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
No
so you
way.
build your house, yeah. And it's not like you need the carpenters, you need the electrician and all those type of people to come and build. You just, again, hey, I need a carpenter. Do you know anybody? Like, yeah, your uncle is a carpenter. Oh, cool. Okay. Ask him. You know, you gather all these people that sometimes they don't even know each other. Sometimes they're friends of friends, and you bring them together and you start building your house. Yeah. And it may take you a year. Some people have houses standing for 20 years, not even finished yet. You know what I mean? But eventually it will finish.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, that's how things are done there. It's different. It's like you said with Nepal.
Yeah.
You have to imagine it a little bit like that. So you just go out there, build a house, put a number on it, and you go to like the post center, and it's like, hey, yeah, my post has to come to this address.
Well, the thing is, they don't have those numbers.
Yeah, that's even worse. Like, how can you? Yeah, it's crazy.
Literally, the postmans are like walking through the streets.
Yeah.
Either they know all the people living there, or they ask like the neighbors, like, this person might be around this area, and like, okay, like, who might know this person living there, and like,
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy how this works. Yeah.
Damn.
But so when you have grown up there in Curacao, and like with this mentality, just like bringing all the people together to create something, and ask your friends and family, like, let's do this together. This is a completely different thing to hear. How do you do this now to combine those two? Because I guess it influenced you quite a bit growing up there. How do you use it here, or like what can you?
It's funny. It's a good question. In the beginning, it was really rough. I would say really rough, but it was kind of getting adjusted to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still back back when I was living here, and I have to mention, like, I lived there till my 20 years old, 21 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and so my childhood and my youth, all of that experience that there. So going out and having friends, and, you know, sitting at beach and going to beach every day, or things like that.
Nice.
And here you don't have that.
Yeah.
When I came here, I would say luckily I got to meet other person that came from Curacao, but they either came here when they were really young, so they know like how things are run here, and things are how you can do things here. I have my brother here as well that lived for, I guess, 13, 15 years already. So all of those people that were around me, I just ask questions. That's me. I love to ask questions. If I don't know something, I just ask, because what can you lose from it? You know, you only can gain something from it. So I just ask, and they just say like, oh no, then you better do this way. But like, then comes the stubbornness again, like, no, I'm gonna find out another way, and things like that, you know. But it was kind of tricky. It was tricky, especially for like going to school and getting the bus. There's a really funny story. I'm gonna tell you this.
Sure.
So in Curacao, there's like one bus. There's different buses, but here you have like lane 63. But you may have 3 different type of lane 63. In Curacao, it's like one lane 63, and you know exactly where it goes, you know. And you have like big buses, and you have like small buses as well. So you can choose which one you want to use. But there's not like 3 different lane 63. So I came here, and it was around, I guess, February or something, or no. I don't remember exactly, but then I started studying, and I had to go to an internship, so I had to go for interview. And I called him like, okay, yeah, you can come at this time. I'm like, okay, yeah, good, okay. I'll make sure I'm there. And I went and I saw a line, okay, I have to grab this, I guess. It was lane 62, I guess. It was here in Ascot.
Okay.
And at lane 62, okay, yeah, I checked it. Yeah, okay, good. I know which one it is. So I came at the bus station, sit there. Oh yeah, there it is, lane 62. Now I realize like I didn't read the rest, but I saw lane 62. So it couldn't be any other lane 62, right? That's my mentality coming from Curacao. But hey, dude, you're in Europe now. Things are different. So I step in, sit, bus stops driving. And I know like I have to get out at this next bus stop. So it's looking like, see on the screen, it's not coming up. That's weird. Then the bus stops. But it wasn't back at the station because it had like a mid-stop. Yeah. And then it goes back to the station. So that was actually the end destination of the bus. So I stopped there and the people called me like, are you nearby already? I was like, no, I'm sitting here in the bus and the bus is not moving and it's not going anywhere. So I went to the driver and I said, sorry, can I ask you a question? He's like, yeah, sure. Like, where is this stop? And he looked at me with a smile. He's like, you should have got the other 62, lane 62. I'm like, what? There's what? You're telling me there's another lane 62? It's like, yeah. It's like, crap. So I called him. I was like, sorry, but this may sound really dumb right now, but I got the wrong bus.
No.
Yeah. They're like, okay, no worries. They were pretty chill people. And they eventually became my mentors as well.
Oh, wow.
And so, called him and it's like, oh yeah, no problem. When can we reschedule? And I guess the next day when I was really 62, has to go this and this. Yeah, okay. And even before I stepped in, I talked to the driver. This goes to this place, right? Like, yeah, like, you sure, right? Yeah, I know, I'm sure. Okay, it's good. I'm just asking because I did the mistake yesterday. I don't want to make the mistake again. So I went there and eventually the next day I could grab the bus. But that's that's what you should imagine. Like, yeah. The things that I had to adapt to get the mentality from living in Curacao to live here in the Netherlands. Yeah. It's totally different. And yeah, it's still some things that I have to change, but yeah, I mean, that will come with the years and it's not really affecting until now. So yeah. I don't see really a reason to change it right now. So
did it also give you maybe some benefits coming from this mentality to living here and doing things?
That's a good one. Never pay attention to that, actually, I have to be honest. But I will say that one thing I can say is that I'm pretty relaxed. I don't have that rush that everybody has. You know, for example, it starts raining and everybody's just trying to have a umbrella or standing under a roof to escape that rain. And like, oh, it's just raining. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep walking. You know, or rushing to catch the train. You know, if I know I have to be there at 9, then the last train I can catch to get there at 9 is like 8:30. Then I'll probably go for the 8:15. So if I lose that one, I don't mind that much because then I have the one of 8:30 to catch. You know, and yeah, I will say having the relaxed mind, it's one thing that I think a lot of people here in Europe can use because it's always about go. And not taking the time to, hey, I have to take care of myself as well. And so, yeah, that I guess will be one of the things that I'm happy I got from there.
I think that's actually a major thing then. Like, yeah. Since depression rates are just like rising and due to anxiety, stress and whatever, that is a pretty huge thing you can definitely use here.
Yeah, I do think so, yeah. I think a lot of people are living with a lot of stress or unhappy. Yeah. I've learned to be happy with the smaller things, you know?
Yeah.
If like, for example, here it's raining and everybody's like, oh, damn it, rain and things like that. I'm like, oh, it's raining. That's pretty cool. You know? Like, yeah, like I learned to enjoy the small things in life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here it's also, now it's sunshine and now it's too warm, right?
Yeah, now it's too warm. Exactly. I'm like, okay, what do you want then? Do you want the rain? Do you want the sun? Do you want the snow? What do you want?
Don't know.
that was pretty exciting as well. Snow for the first time. I'm like, oh, snow. Wow. Yeah. Pretty crazy.
And, well, in the conversation we also had last Sunday, it was just like a constant reminder of those little things, which are super amazing. And to see either snow or just like this, or the moon we saw, like just unbelievably cool. And how can you, put your focus all the time there? I mean, this gives you so much happiness. I experienced you had throughout the whole evening, and this is just so amazing to be around with.
Thank you.
And so that's like, where did you get this from, or like how do you constantly keep this up?
I guess it has a lot to do where I came from and the way I grew up. Like I said, I was since small, I had to learn to be happy with the smallest things in life. And I will say as well, one thing that helped a lot is the travels I got to do when I was younger. And like one of the most impact travels for me was going to the Dominican Republic. I remember this once we were there, like electricity here is like a luxury, because their electricity, like it may be here right now and then 1 minute later it's gone.
Okay.
And then it may not come back until tomorrow, or it may come back after half an hour, or it may come back after 3-6 hours. You never know. Okay. And like going from Curacao to there, like in Curacao, I will open the fridge and, you know, most people have things in the fridge. But when I went there and I opened the fridge was like literally empty. I was like, what? Then they mentioned like, no, electricity goes. So it's not smart to have things in the fridge, because they will just go bad.
Yeah. So
they always buy things like, they use pesos, but like €1 of soap, €1 of rice. So you can buy like really small amount of things. And I remember this one time it started raining really hard, really, really hard. And before that, everybody went inside. So it started raining and everybody like disappeared. I was like, that's sad. But then like 5 minutes later, everybody came out. Everybody was on the street. And like there's a lot of like hills. Yeah. So the houses are all on the hills and go down. And you get these small kids, they get like this, how you call that? For the garbage can. You know, I have the lid for the garbage can, like a type of metal-ish. Yeah. So they grab that, they go up the hill, sit on it and slide down. I'm like, what? This is super cool. I don't get to do that in Curacao, you know?
You don't have hills, or?
Yeah, we do have hills, but not like that. People don't live on hills, you know? And there's a lot of dirt road as well in Curacao. Most of Curacao is dirt road, and it's not like asphalt. So we went there and the kids were sliding down, and you have these mom and their daughters and everybody just standing down the roof with the, how you call it again? With the water drains. Yeah. With the water drains, you have on the side of the roof. I can't remember the name right now. I don't know why. But they were standing down the roof where the water comes down, and they were washing their hairs. I was like, what? These people are doing this? And it was mind blowing to me. But having those experience was for me like, okay, I stopped comparing my life to other people, because I realized that even though things may not be as good as at home, I had it way better than other people. Okay. So in Curacao, the life is basically way better than Dominican Republic. Yeah, some parts. Okay, some parts. You have people who have it good, but again, they live also a like minimalist lifestyle. They are not eager to have and have more, because they're already happy with the small things they have, you know, and that to me, it's just amazing, because if you cannot be happy with the small things, having a lot of things are not going to make you happy neither. So, yeah. That's a pretty powerful sentence. Thank you. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And so this basically, do you have then a reminder of that basically every time, or is it just now that you
have it almost innate in you.
Yeah, it's like normal to me.
It's like you see it outside, it's like, oh damn, that's cool.
Yeah, to me, when I wake up and I see the moon, it's like I appreciate those small things.
Yeah.
Like even like if you're standing at the train and the bus or the train is running late, you have these people already complaining like, oh damn it, the train is late, and and like, does it make any difference? Like, if it, like, I understand it, maybe you want to go home and things like that, but man, your life, be happy with that. You have your 2 legs, be happy with that. You have your 2 arms, be happy with that. You have your vision, be happy with that. You can communicate with others, be happy with that. You have food on the table, be happy with that. You can go to the store and buy groceries, be happy with that. There are some people, they cannot do that. You have your job, you get your money every month or every week or whatever. Be happy with that. For people living in a first world country, they're pretty...
It's difficult to see those things.
Yeah, because we take things for granted. Like internet for me right now. Before I moved out of my apartment, and it's something we can talk about as well, if you want to. But before I moved out of the apartment, I had the internet at home, so it's just like, easy. Never really pay attention to how important the internet is. But now that I'm living like a nomad, it's like going from places to places, and sometimes there's no internet connection at all. Or if there is an internet connection, it's just really slow, really bad. And like, oh man, we take internet for granted.
Totally.
And I was like, man, I gotta start appreciating internet more. If I have like 1 bar, I'm like, yes, yes, I have this internet. And it may be really slow, but I can do what I have to do on it. So, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, don't take it for granted. No.
Yeah. And with those things, for example, the internet, or you're living as a nomad, you just said.
Yeah.
What are your current goals? What are you striving for? Like, what are you working on at the moment?
Okay, so what I'm working on at the moment is to create, I would say, my financial freedom. Okay,
well, that's a pretty huge term.
Yeah, it's a pretty huge term, exactly. It involves, like, money.
Yeah.
And it's funny because every time I talk about it, some people have the comments like, yeah, you shouldn't chase money. Money doesn't make you happy. I'm like, yeah, I know that. Money doesn't make me happy. But seeing how the society is, how the system is, and all the things that are happening around the world, I'm not exactly chasing the money, but I'm chasing the freedom that money gives me.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to go and see somebody on the street and I can give them 100 euros that can help them maybe book for a place to stay for at least 1 night. That to me makes a lot more different than to have that $100 in my pocket and don't do anything with it. I want to be able to travel a lot more because, like I said, when I was small, I got a opportunity to travel a lot with my mom, and being able to do that, I saw a lot of different things that again make me remember that I have to appreciate all I have in life, and be able to travel around the world and be able to help others. That to me is really important. So going for the financial freedom, creating that wealth, where I'm heading. And I started my own business as well.
Okay.
2 years ago, something I wanted to start already, but I just like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll wait for this and I'll do it. And I'll wait for this and I'll do it. But I was like, no, I got to do this. So I went for it and I started my online business, which earns me decent income. And I started doing things like investing as well. I used to go to school. That's something as well I didn't say, but I used to go to school in 2017 until January. But I stopped. That's one of the things as well that play a big role with the panic attack, because I was 3 months without an income.
Okay.
What? Man, this sucks. Start getting
without getting income, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And getting in debt and things like that because no money, you cannot pay. And having all of that, and it was like, okay, when I started taking action, I was like starting my own business. And the beauty of it all is when you start focusing on where you want to go and you know exactly where you want to go, that all these doors start opening. and I started my online business. I started investing, and I got a job as a carpenter through internship.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it pays good money.
Yeah.
And it helps to build a lot more savings and all of that to be able to invest more and create more freedom for myself. So yeah, I mean, that's one thing I'm working on. And beside it as well, I'm trying to help and coach others as well to live a better lifestyle, to realize that, like we talked, don't take things for granted, and realizing your goal, because I think a lot of people as well, they're not living with a purpose in life. They're just living day by day, just trying to get by, just trying to scratch the surface. And it may work on a small term, but on long term, time flies. Time flies really fast. And before you know it, you're that old man sitting in a chair and regretting all these things. And I hate regret. I really hate regret. So I
having this picture in my head as well, just like in the end, like, what was this for now?
Exactly, So
Yeah.
no, I don't want this. And it's funny because before the panic attack, this is something I knew, but I just didn't really pay attention to it. I was like,
Okay.
It will be okay.
So the panic attack was the starting point to actually get into action and do something about it.
Yeah, I guess even goosebumps, because the panic attack to me was, I'm so happy it happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
imagine that. When I tell people, like, they look at me with a face like, dude, you must be crazy. Like, yeah, I'm crazy, but I'm happy it happened, because if
Yeah.
it didn't happen, I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. I would have already started helping other people, and I wouldn't be taking these steps that will help me to get where I want to go.
Mhm.
And if it meant that having that panic attack, then so be it. I mean, I'd rather have that panic attack than getting attacked by a shark or something. That would be like, maybe I should change my life. No, I'm happy that happened and it wasn't something worse.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And I have to say as well, after that, I never had a panic attack again until this day, 2 years later, and all good.
So basically it was just a sign. Let's start.
Yeah.
And cool.
See why I'm happy it happened?
Yeah.
it's
I totally understand
amazing.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's and you don't have to wait for these things to happen, but they will happen, because if you talk to other people, even successful people, they always had that one thing that took them to the next level. That one thing that made them, okay, no, I got to drop this and go focus on other things. There's always going to be those things in life that are going to be your wake up call. But if you can kind of prevent that, it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think most of the people I also had interviewed before were so good and happy and successful at that time because they had some huge incident before, like one guy with having the cancer, or the recent one having the car accident.
Yeah.
And after that, they then also realized those things. They just like made up their mind about these topics, because then you focus on the really important shit.
Yeah.
And you look at, okay, what do I actually really want in life, and what do I want to create, and what is important for me as a person, but also the people around me.
Yeah.
So, that actually fits super into the pattern. I see that those occurrences, that you having a panic attack or whatever it is, makes you realize, okay, wait, let's have a break. Like, what is super important for me, and let's focus on these parts. And
because something I will add up to that is saying, when, for example, those things like panic attack, and that's one thing after that I met people that also had panic attacks, some of them daily, some of them now and then. And mostly when it comes down to is you're afraid for the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it like worries or?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is actually worries. And sometimes it's worrying for something that not exactly is going to happen, but you're focusing on it so much. Like, for example, I want to create wealth. Am I going to create that wealth? It's like two worlds colliding. You have like the bad world and the good world. You can say it like that. They're like colliding. It's just like fighting each other. And you're like, okay, which side should I choose? Which side should I choose? And like your brain start going crazy, and it affects your body, and your heart start pumping really fast.
Okay.
And most of the time it's the fear. And when you can find what those fears are, for me, for example, I wasn't able to really travel. I didn't have my business, so I can create my own freedom. I like having problems in the family as well. That was something that I was like, how can I deal with it the best way? Not having money to be able to pay everything and getting a debt. I hate that. It's a really bad thing. And yeah, having all these things, they keep stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking because you didn't deal with the first one, but life keeps going. Then you're 6 months, 1 year, 5 years later, and then other things keep coming up. So eventually you have like this whole wall of things that you have to deal with. But since you're not dealing with none of them, it's like, okay, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Where I'm going now. And
then suddenly you're in a situation where all those things happen or come to you at the same time. And then you're like, damn, how do I deal with this now? Okay.
So that's most of the time people that I talk to as well is the fear of the unknown.
Okay.
You know, because as human beings, we like to know stuff. We like to be certain of things. But life is uncertain. We never know what's coming up. You know, but if you can accept that and find the best way to deal with it, then it will be fine. Yeah.
Easy said.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easier said than done. Trust me. Yeah. It's easier said than done. That's for sure. Yeah. But yeah.
And so, you're working on this basically right now, like looking forward to, creating your wealth, your business. How's that going at the moment? Like, what are some things you encounter, like, either holding you back or you have like some downsides happening?
Good question. It's funny because then we go back to the way I grew up. We do things totally different there.
Yeah.
You know, I thought like, okay, I have to really have to Google. I can go to the library and do things and ask one person to another. And you're not asking the right person. You know, you're asking like a person who's broke, how's the best way to deal with money? Yeah, of course that person can help you, you know, and then I realized that, and I'm really happy I had my mentors that I could always go with questions to them. They were like, no, this is the best way to do it. And to them as well, I got to read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Amazing book. If you could read that will be a mind change. Like when I read that book, I was like, what? Okay, let's make this.
Yeah.
You know. But going to your question is, I even smile a lot talking about it because I just love it.